Hey guys, welcome to my shop and the conclusion of this long-running project. It's finally time to install the exterior door that we've been building. And just like that, I'm all sweaty and covered in dust, and the door's in place. So here from the inside, you can see there wasn't a ton of light to work with, so it really wasn't amenable to filming the installation of the door. There's plenty of other resources where you can go and see that being done, but suffice it to say, it's in place and looks pretty good, feels pretty good. So there it is, all done. It's pretty clear why it was too big earlier, but we still got to do the stops, insulate, and put the trim back on, but it's all done. Nice secure door, solid cedar, exterior paint, should last for 100 years. Thanks for watching. So here I have the original trim from the exterior door that replaced. This is old, it's in pretty decent shape, but I got some splits I'm going to have to work on. It's got a ton of nails in it, just because it's a little old and fragile. Rather than pounding the nails out, I think I'm just going to sort of cut them off with a metal wheel, bring them down flush. They're all going to be hidden. I just want to make sure they're out of the way when I put new nails in, but that's where I'm going to start, taking the nails out, see what repairs I need to do before I start stripping off this nasty old paint. Okay, so these two pieces have some splits in them, so I don't know how well they'll show on camera. That's split, it's not too bad, some cracks down the back. This one's fairly bad, it's actually split in a couple of different directions. I can see clean wood inside there, there's a bunch of crap up in here, but the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fix these with epoxy, give that plenty of time to set. I want to make sure these are strong and stable before I start removing all of this paint. When I do, this almost for sure is lead paint, at least the bottom layer, so I'm going to take precaution. I'm going to wear respirators as soon as I start kicking any of that stuff up. So I have my West System 3 epoxy here, metering pumps. So we'll start with one squirt. This is half of the volume of the first. So half the volume part B, there'll be more than enough epoxy I'm going to need. So give this a really good healthy stir. Probably stir this for about 5 minutes, and then I'll be ready to start applying it. So I'm using a heat gun for this first stage of paint removal, and depending on the type of paint, this can be just remarkably effective. So this will allow me to get the vast majority of it off in a couple of passes, take the rest off by sanding, get me down to a really nice clean finish that I can put on a good base layer and then the final paint. So after the heat gun, I then switched to the orbital sander with a 100 grit paper to begin with. Then after power sanding at 220 grit, there was a fair amount of hand sanding done here, particularly to get down into the flutes and some of the other interesting architectural details that the sander just couldn't possibly get into. So after cleaning up the nasty toxic mess, it was time for a high quality exterior paint. I believe I put on 3 coats with some light sanding in between the first 2 coats. So then the only thing left to do with the trim was to glue and nail it together.